All right, so it's day 3. I want to show some kind of discipline or some kind of regimen here to prove that I am sticking to this and I am dialing myself in. 189.2 today. Okay, yesterday was 189.8, so we're down a little bit more. Here's the physique photo from today, and I will talk about a couple topics that I will show everyone. Well, okay, so how would you say, like when you vlog, what is it that people want to see, do you think? Like if someone says, well, all I did today was I sat in my room for 7 hours and made modules for my new product I'm building. That's literally all I did. So that's the other thing too, is like, what happens if you don't always have a glamorous life? Like today, my life was the same as anybody else's. I sat in my room for 7 hours, and I sat there and recorded what needed to be done.
Well, that's different than the majority of people.
Or everyone wants a good career, but no one will actually do what's required to achieve the skill. They'll tell themselves, oh, I'm networking, making some connections. But are they actually going to do the hard work of sitting there in solitude? The other thing too is every skill set you'll ever achieve as a man is only done through solitude. You'll have to put in 1,000 hours alone. And if you have a mentor, let's say, they can teach you or coach you, but you're still going to have to go out in the world and do it. And you can't get rid of that part. You can't get rid of the brutal skill required. Yeah, today's day 3, pretty boring. Maybe I'll merge day 3 and day 4's video together. Alright, so today's day 4. I'm going to combine the day 3 and day 4 video. Let's just start right off the initial video here with the physique. So what do we got? So I'll put up the physique photo here. This is day 4. I was 189.4. Yesterday I was 189.2. Okay, so day 4. So day 4, 189.4. I'm feeling good. One thing that I've been doing to help just burn more calories is I've been doing about a 90-minute walk every single day at about 4 o'clock p.m. And I've actually been doing this prior. I've been doing this prior to going to the gym. So one of the things that I'm doing, okay, to try to lean down and make it a bit more effortless is I'm not trying to stay in the gym for so long anymore. I used to do these like 2-hour, pretty much like bodybuilder marathon workouts, and it would take me like 2 hours to complete. I was probably doing like 30 sets plus per workout, super high volume, and then like, you know, I would be super sore for days in a row. So like, let's say I did chest, I would be sore to the touch, you know, for multiple days. Right, so now one of the things that I'm doing is lower volume to control my appetite, because one of the reasons why it was so hard for me to stay at the body composition or the leanness that I wanted to is due to the fact that I would need a certain amount of calories to have enough fuel to keep doing these workouts. So now for once I'm prioritizing my own goals and my own aesthetics over prioritizing the workouts, right? Before I was purely prioritizing the workouts, and that was my day-to-day priority, is how good I'm performing at the gym. Now I'm switching it, and what I'm doing is I'm using the gym, okay, to actually fuel my number one priority, which is me. So I'm doing this in reverse. So yeah, this is day 4. A couple things I'll show you. Yeah, so today we have the tree up. I'm probably going to put the star on whenever it's decorated, just to like recreate this old photo that I had from the past when I also did this once before years ago. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really go on ladders much, but hopefully when I go up here, I don't end up breaking my neck if I fall off. But this is kind of interesting, right? Because I can go from the top. This is the first time I could just climb right upstairs. So it's like a jungle gym. I'm like a monkey. What else should I talk about? Yeah. So today I made a video too on the number one thing that I think is most important to most men today when they're dating is actually just like reaching their genetic potential. You know, because if you look at what's actually important is adaptation, right? And if you look at the environment that most people live in, like due to the environment and an abundance of options, especially with online dating, most guys are going to get their biggest return on investment in their dating life from looking better and being as attractive as possible, right? Not your, you know, social skills or any of this other stuff. Like, you need to actually be attractive. So I'm trying to lead by example and document this journey too. I'm also going to kind of reenact what happened to me last night, because last night I kind of had, it was either like, I still don't know, but it was either a panic attack or it was a, like I actually thought I was having a stroke or like a heart attack. So I'll kind of explain to you what happened. So last night I'm right here. I'm laying in bed and I go to bed at about 1:30. Okay, and then here's what happens. So I wake up and I like am kind of shaking. And as I'm shaking, I had no movement in my legs. Like I had to use my arms to like wake my legs up, and I was tossing and turning like I couldn't move for a few minutes. And the whole right side of my body was like numb, like all the way up into my face. I had no grip strength. And then I started panicking. So by the time I was like under the covers shivering. And then by the time I had enough like movement finally in my upper body, because I was super numb through my right side, it was so weird. It was like either a panic attack or I thought I was having like a stroke or something. I actually start sliding up like this and I get it together. And then I go into the shower and I just start calling a bunch of people. Like I was calling my parents, I was calling, I didn't know if I should go into the emergency room. Like I was genuinely fearful. And this happened only an hour after drifting off and falling asleep. So then I ended up not. I stayed up for about an hour. I was talking to my parents on the phone, slept it off, woke up today at about 10 o'clock, and I feel almost 100%. Like there's still a little bit of numbness through my arm. But yeah, if this happens again, I'm definitely going to go in. But I have no idea what it was. I've typically been very healthy my whole life. So yeah, this is kind of new. And yeah, I was super scared. Like I had no idea what it was. And you know, like when you are in a situation like that, especially like me, I'm only 28. It's not like my health is bad or it's not like I'm super old. You kind of will panic. So I actually sat in the shower. See, here's what happens. Like if I get too nervous or like I start panicking, my whole body will go ice cold and I'll start like actually shaking. So that's what happened is I got the jitters. I was cold. I was shaking. I had to go in the shower. I start warming up and I was trying to get it together, but then it was so weird. So this leg was completely numb. And then once I got some movement going on in both legs became numb. And then by the time I was standing up, then once I stood up, both of my shins went numb. And as I was walking, I was just super messed up. My face felt puffy. I'm just telling you all the symptoms because, yeah, if something ever happens to me, at least you guys know kind of what I was going through. So that way, if anything happens to you or you experience this too, this is what it was or what it feels like. One thing I've never done is showed you guys my shoes. And I think it's good to have a variety of shoes. I have a lot of different shoes. Yeah, so I guess I'll just show you a few of the options that I have that I wear daily. And I think it's good to have a variety of shoes because you can mix and match with anything. These are two of my staples from wearing jeans. You know, just a pair of gray boots and a pair of brown boots. I have these shoes. They're from Aloe. These are more just like skater shoes. I'm not sure what brand these are, but this is like a nice slip-on. Something casual. This is like the casual dad shoe. Like I would wear jeans with this, an all-white t-shirt, these, and probably my red Adidas hat. Okay. Another thing that I believe in that every guy needs to have, because these things are durable. Like when I say durable, these things don't break. I think they're leather, I don't know. But some high top Nike Air Forces, these things are solid. I've had these for years. I'll lift weights in these. They're more rigid. You can squat in these. You can weight lift in these. These are a staple just for slipping on, and at least you have something that is weather resistant. It looks good. You can wear it with sweatpants. It's got cool style, just all black, high top Nike Air Forces. These, in my opinion, are better too than Converse for lifting weights, just because, like, I guess this is okay if you like thinner material for like squatting or deadlifting. But I like something that is a bit more rigid, and that's why I kind of like those, because the rubber is just a lot more thick. That's my own personal preference. Yeah, so back when I ran track and cross country in high school, I was always a really big Asics guy. So back when I ran track, I would usually wear like Asics Nimbus. This is a pair of Asics Kayanos. These are, I can't even remember, Gel Kayano 30. So this is my main shoe that I wear when I go walking. So right now I'm walking like usually 5 miles either a day or every other day. This is my typical road shoe for walking to get steps in right now as I'm leaning down to lose weight and burn some calories. Now another shoe that's great, these, I also had a pair of these in high school when I ran track too, and these are some old school Nike Vomeros. These specifically are the Vomero 5s. And I think that this shoe is almost like a throwback to the style, you know, I don't remember how many years ago it was, but probably about 10 years ago, I had a pair of these, and I was at the mall in Scottsdale a couple months ago, and I saw these and I had to have them. I can't remember what store I was at, but they had a bunch of different colors. And yeah, this was the exact like Vomeros from back when I was in high school. I used to be really big into track and cross country. You know, I'd run 50, 60 miles a week for 4 years in a row. That was like my whole life was distance running. Yeah, I was a miler, 2-miler in track. So then once I graduated, to have the switch into bodybuilding was pretty different, but I'm glad I did it. Yeah, there's probably a couple more shoes I have I can show you. And I think the only reason why I want to show you this is because I think it's good to just have different shoes for different things. All right, so if you have like, you know, darker jeans, you can definitely have like a pair of black leather shoes. I also have a pair of Sorel boots that I wear occasionally. But my favorite boots of all time from when I used to live in North Dakota was definitely these Under Armour boots. These were the most comfortable. I would wear these with sweatpants. I always loved that look too, just like sweatpants and boots. Now, since I live in Arizona, I don't wear those as much. These boots, I'm not sure what brand they are, but they're similar to like Timberlands. These I'll wear with sweatpants all the time too. Since I'm from North Dakota, I still rock that same look a lot of times down here in Arizona, especially if it's colder outside. It isn't very much because it's the desert. But that was the typical style back home that I would wear. It would be like some sweatpants, boots, and then usually a flannel. And that's a lot of times what almost like everybody would wear, is kind of that same style. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. The reason why I'm in my house so much just working is because like this is honestly like probably my favorite thing to do. So here's how I've always looked at work. I really believe that work should be an extension of you. So like instead of needing a vacation, just hear me out for a second, because I know some of you might think this is wild, but just hear me out. Instead of needing a vacation, set yourself up in a location and an environment with weather where you can always have enough sunlight, where you feel healthy. That's number one. Number two, your work should not just be an 8 hours a day thing. your work should be an extension of you. Okay, if your work is an extension of you, now you're happy and now you're fulfilled. So my work has been the topics I like to talk about because now it's an extension of me. It's like I never work a day in my life. As I'm building me, I get to document building me, which helps me build you because now you can use the same skills that I learned and you can probably get the result that I got in half the time because I can tell you what not to do. How nice is that? Think about that. That's why you should join my community. Speed. Over. That's how I'm going to end it.